Deck of Souls is a Souls/Slay the Spire-like game that frustrated me to no end with its poorly designed mechanics. Since no one else has done a tips video for this game, I have taken it upon myself. However, this is more of a rant than comprehensive guide. There's a link in the description to a document that has more information, including the various builds and starter decks for each character. So, here's what the game doesn't tell you, and also the many issues that the game has. To cover some basics, a strong deck should have less than your max hand size of non-banished cards, only one or two cards that can't be played at instant speed, a few ways to dodge statuses, and lots of card draw. Unlike Slay the Spire, you can level up your character's stats at rest areas. Unfortunately, only 2 stats are worthwhile. Endurance is key to winning the game. This is your priority above all else until your deck feels comfortable to play each turn. Usually 10 to 12 stamina is enough. You should level up your Flux in order to ensure that you have at least 8 or 9 max hand size. You should dump levels in Constitution if you have good Endurance and Flux, and if you're taking a bit too much damage. Strength and Intelligence are a complete waste of levels. You can level them up at the end of the game just for fun, if you aren't worried about taking damage, but otherwise just completely ignore this. Your weapons and shields can be leveled up a few times at the armor shops, but it's not worth investing too much in them, especially past level 4. Poison is an extremely strong status that actually grows stronger over time. The downside is the damage occurs after the enemy phase. Curse is an absolute garbage status. Only the duration is stackable. You can't increase the quantity or intensity even if you use a different card. The damage also occurs after the enemy phase. Stealth is an incredibly powerful status. It grants you both complete immunity to damage and status effects. You can stack them, but every single stack is lost on any point of damage that you deal, even if that damage is blocked. Power is a flat bonus to every single attack, while defense is a flat bonus to every single block, but it doesn't affect armor gain. Cards with a zap keyword, when played, will shuffle X zap cards into the deck that autoplay, deal AoE damage, and draw a card if the deck is not empty. Block is removed on the turn end, and armor is not affected by defense bonuses, but it's also not removed on the turn end. Block takes damage before your armor does. Cards with the Berserk keyword will enable their bonus even if the damage you received is blocked or absorbed. Banished cards, when discarded, are gone for the fight. When it says it can only be drawn once, it means it. Now let's talk about armor sets. The game doesn't tell you what bonuses each set gives until you have them equipped. So here's what each set actually does. The Champion set gives bonuses when you fill all the card slots. At 2 to 4 pieces, you'll gain 5x block. At 5 pieces, you'll gain 5 bonus weapon levels, and you'll also deal double damage this turn. The Bloody set is the Vampire set. At 2 to 4 pieces, you'll gain 5x% lifesteal. At 5 pieces, you will also gain 1 power for each point of damage healed. The Vanguard set improves your armor gain and is required to make massive cards powerful. At 2 pieces, you'll gain 1 bonus to your armor gain. At 3 pieces, you'll gain an additional 2 Flux bonus. At 4 pieces, you'll gain a bonus to Flux and Armor gain. At 5 pieces, you'll gain 1 bonus to Armor gain and 2 to Flux. Also, all your block becomes armor. The Void set gives bonuses when you're discarding cards. At 2 to 4 pieces, you increase your power by X for each card you discard. At 5 pieces, additionally, redeemed cards are prioritized when discarding. The Timeless set enhances the already powerful instants. At 2 to 4 pieces, you'll gain 2 X block when playing an instant. At 5 pieces, all cards will have Rush equal to double the card cost with a base of 2. The Electric set tries to make Zap builds viable. At 2 to 4 pieces, you'll gain X armor when auto-playing a card. At 5 pieces, Zap will deal double damage. The Explorer set is the Souls gain set. At 2 pieces, you'll gain 10% of souls after battle. At 3, you'll gain 20. At 4, you'll gain 40. And at 5 pieces, you'll gain 60%. Also, you'll deal 1 damage to all enemies on battle start for each 50 souls you have. The 5-piece bonus is an auto win, as it can even one-shot Satan. The Assassin set improves your character stats. At 2 to 4 pieces, you'll gain X bonus to your strength and endurance. At 5 pieces, it'll give you 5 strength and endurance, and also sneak attack cards will no longer need stealth. The Plague set makes poison even stronger. At 2 to 4 pieces, you inflict 3x poison to all enemies whenever you gain block. At 5 pieces, poison will trigger both before and after enemy turn. Cards in Deck of Souls are discarded before their effects resolve, so any instant card that also draws a card enables a Pseudo Infinite. Here are a few design decisions that I can't help but think are bugs because of how negatively they affect the experience. Zap cards trigger the enemy's parry ability, which causes you to self-destruct. This is especially bad because block disappears before your turn even starts. At the Charm Shop, created cards do not show up in your deck in order to be removed until you visit a new shop. Finally, here's a few glitches I discovered that weaken or strengthen some builds. Cards with the Redeem, Rush, Wise, Autoplay, or Random Enemy keyword can target defeated enemies and cause the attack to whiff. For some reason, the Momentum keyword on the Chronomaster card does absolutely nothing. An actually useful bug for the player is the Technique Takeback glitch. The count of slotted Technique cards does not decrease when taking the card back. This means even if there's only one slot available, you can make it so that your cards play more times than they should. And that's all I have for you in this video. Again, there's a more comprehensive guide linked in the description. I hope this guide helps you avoid the frustrations built into this game that drove me to this.